Processing. All right, we're here. So I'm gonna get started. I don't want to stay up too late. But I do want to kind of show some stuff off there. Let me know you can see everything.
Okay. He's getting ready now.
All right.
I will mute the stream though, because I don't want to hear double me.
Hey guys, this is Will. I'm on here getting ready to color in a stream. Got my first donation from JinglesRasco's a few days ago on the last stream. So I was like, well, what character would you like me to draw? Since you donated to me, I'd like to draw a sketch card for you. And he sent me information about that character, so I decided I will draw it. But then I also wanted to do some coloring, and I also wanted him to come on and kind of talk about it, talk about the character, of course, not because she's not an it, she's a she, and
She's
so
a she.
she's definitely a she. So it being
I
for the
can guarantee
character,
she's a she.
she's a she. All right. And so anyway, so I wanted to kind of get people in here, give people a chance to get in, and then I will
Mm-hmm.
start showing things off. So here we go. So one,
Mm-hmm.
two,
And I'm sharing the stream in the various servers.
awesome. All right. So here is Maddie. Bring it down a little bit. There we go. Okay. I just want to get it to where it's more in there. We're gonna shrink this down a bit so I can work on one and the other.
It always takes a few seconds for me to see anything. Okay, there's Maddie.
So we'll lay out some color here. So I need to create
Mm-hmm.
another layer above this so I can do some color things. Let's fill that one in. I'm trying this new coloring format where I go in and do grayscales to where I set
Mm-hmm.
my grayscales up beforehand. That way it kind of divides up everything, and then I'll go in and color over that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not for sure how great that is. I'm not sure how long I'll do it that way, but I wanted to try it.
It's
Kind
always
of see
good
what
to
we got.
experiment.
So while I got you on here, Jingles, why don't you tell us a little bit about Maddie? Tell us about who she is as a character and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, Maddie was originally developed just because I was working on just some random projects. Occasionally, I'll come up with like a character design and then try and build a character around that. And then initially, that's what Maddie was used for. Is I had I was I had seen some videos talking about how it's really important to observe people in order to create believable characters for
Mm-hmm.
your stuff. And so I was doing that. I was observing people, right? And I had observed because at the time I was working at this grocery store as a cashier, and it's this little chain that nobody's heard of because there's only like 3 stores of it, and it's all around where I live anyway.
Mm-hmm.
um, but the this while working there, I get to see a number of different customers and stuff. And so I had observed quite a few different customers, and um, I put together like an idea of a character that I wanted to create. I was also looking into changing up my art style that I've been doing for a very long time. I always tried to do like a very manga centric art style. Um, but when I created Maddie, I was in the process of I don't know if the word for it would be transitioning to, but developing a different style. Excuse me, and something more unique and different,
Mm-hmm.
and something that took what I had learned from drawing manga, but also learning from American comic book authors as well as modern cartoons and other people that I had seen online, and I had started to uh, take heavily from a bunch of the other artists that I follow online that have what I would consider more unique art styles. And actually, I made a video on my YouTube channel titled uh, "Developing Your Own Style by stealing from other artists. And so that was the whole thing, was taking things that you learn from other artists to develop and solidify your own style. And so that's what I had done, is taking things and elements, and it's kind of what I had been doing up to that point, but kind of subconsciously. When I Because I wanted to have a really manga esque style before, very anime like style before, and
Hmm.
so I was essentially just taking things that I liked from the various anime and manga that I had been watching slash reading. Anyway, so long story short, I developed a new style, and I developed Maddie in the process. And I had her for a while, wasn't sure what I was going to do with her. Um, I was thinking, well, maybe I can think of like a story or something for her. I had like a couple of ideas written down, but nothing like solid. And then my younger brother Smiter and I sat down and started talking to each other about this series that we've been wanting to do for a while
Uh-huh.
called Atomic Derby.
Dum dum dum.
Well, at first, we were going to call it Roller Angels, and it was just going to be a very kind of realistic um, roller derby style story. And I had come up with some really rough ideas for some characters, because we had some ideas for it, and they were the initial iterations of Bad News, Bite Size Dynamite, and the Architect. And actually, at this time, Bite Size Dynamite had a different name. She was going to be called Sunshine Hate. Um, that was the idea that we had before. And Smider and I came back to that idea, and we were like, what if we like really made it over the top, crazy, with like, you know, bright, like rocket powered skates that allow people to do crazy stunts, and we kind of animeify it, right?
Hmm.
Kind of like how Prince of Tennis is essentially tennis, but like with a lot of really dumb anime stuff in there. Same with like Ice Shield 21. It's football, but it's like animeified, right?
Right.
And they're not like strictly realistic sports series, especially Ice Shield 21. That one is just like really, really wacky, and like, oh, he's got some sort of ancient bloodline technique that makes him like super good at football and whatever. Um, so we started developing it, and we were getting it to the point where it is now. Um, this idea of a more over the top derby series, but really character focused, and really like we want to develop really good characters for it, right?
Makes sense.
And while we were doing this, I was all like, "Yo, bro, you want to have Maddie for this?" Because I had started like sharing Maddie as a character, and getting people were already like, I really like her. She's got like a personality. She's got a very unique design and all that stuff. And so
Which is
people were
stuff you
already
like to hear
liking
about
her.
customers you're creating, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Um, and so I was like, bro, you would you like to have Maddie for this? And he was like, can I? I'm like, yeah, dude. And so we had then reworked what we had before to fit better into the world of Atomic Derby. And so that's how she ended up being brought into Atomic Derby. And in the same vein, that's also what influenced the art style of Atomic Derby to be in my new style that I am now drawing in. And I'm still kind of refining here and there, but I've more or less kind of uh, got the idea of what I'm looking for, you know?
Okay. And that's really groovy. I really appreciate that. How are you liking what I'm doing so far?
It is looking totally great.
Anything you would want me to change while I was working on it since I am kind of coloring your character?
Maddie is very pale.
Okay, so a little bit
Um,
less on the a little bit less on the flesh tones.
yeah,
Okay.
a little lighter on the flesh tones. Do you have the reference images of her?
I have the reference image, but I have a hard time trying to figure out how to pull it into the same document in Photoshop. Whenever I try to open it, it always opens as a separate document.
Right. If you open it in a separate document and you just color pick it, you can just pick the colors right off of the reference
Well, that
image,
makes
and then
sense. Hang on, let me do this. go over here. Let's go there. See if it'll let me do that. Let's go open new.
I sent you that thing of Maddie, but I'm going to send you right now another thing um, that has other like small detail stuff. It's her expression sheet that might also help give you some ideas as to because she also has freckles, and because she's meant to be a real pale redhead. Um, Steph and Skip Kane are in the chat right now. Hey, Steph and Skip,
Oh,
how
hey,
you
it's
doing?
typing artist Steph and Skip there. They're awesome. That's my sister from another mister,
Hmm.
and my brother from another mother. And they
Thank you
are,
for being interested in my series.
yeah.
My brother wrote most of it, and I've kind of helped refine it, as it were. And I've done all the character art for it as well. And we're still working on it.
It's a
Steph,
great thing. I know we have a whole podcast episode on conversations about dot dot dot, which if you're not checking out, you should. Totally
yep.
should be doing that. But anyway, so by the way, guys, if you like what you're seeing, do me a favor, share it out. That helps out a lot more than you realize. Like sometimes just sharing out what you're seeing to other people that you say, hey, I'm interested in this. That would be
Hmm.
awesome. Okay, so let me color pick this. Let me get her skin tone. Good.
Yes,
Got it.
Step and Skip, as I would like to call her. So she looks just like me. Will, super white and freckled.
Okay, well that's easy to that's kind of easy as a reference.
Hmm.
Although I don't know like I don't know how spunky. It's definitely a lot more spunky.
Hmm.
Uh, it seems. Of course, I don't
Hmm.
know the character as well as you do, so I can't say oh
Um,
Maddie's not spunky.
she's not very spunky,
She's not.
but the circles that are there next to her face there, those floating circles, those are for color picking. So that should be a lot easier to color pick that way.
Okay, so I think I've got that. Let me get that tone worked out. Let me go back and replace. Select select the skin portions of this, and we'll go there, and then we will come in with that instead. Course correction. Okay. Now I think there. Now maybe we need to turn down the gray layer a bit, because that's really making her more like she's almost not human.
Hmm.
If I do that,
Steph says that she did Derby several years ago.
I
Well,
did not know that.
hopefully that means that you'll enjoy the comic once we get it out.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so is that closer to tone? You think?
I think it's definitely closer.
Okay. Let's just pretend for a minute that the gray layer wasn't there. Let's just drop the gray layer out completely.
Of course, I'm looking at it from the stream is a few seconds, or
Delayed.
yeah, a few seconds delayed. So I don't know 100%.
Let's go ahead and get back in here. And
Steph says I will. Super cool. Well, thank you. I hope to make it as cool as possible in the future.
so, Steph, since you're in here, I got a question for you. Position did you play? What position did you play when you were in roller derby? When you were doing the roller derby thing? I know their positions. I know that each portion has different positions in it. So
Hmm.
I would be curious as to what position you were.
And also, did you do banked track or did you do flat track derby?
Yeah, because right now that's a
Bec-
totally foreign language to me.
yeah, because what Atomic Derby is going to be like a really souped up bank track derby.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people do flat track derby, and a lot of the research that we did, people did flat track.
All right. this portion. If I take this and go up,
Yes, Steph says flat track. Yes.
flat track. Okay.
The major differences, as far as I can tell, for flat track, aside from the track being banked or not banked, in flat track derby, you don't have to be constantly moving the whole time, and the blockers are actually just kind of there and will block as the jammer tries to get points. Um, but in banked track derby, everyone has to keep moving all the time, and so that's one of the major differences for that. And I also know people also like hop back and forth between the different positions that they would play. So
And you mentioned you were going to send another picture. I assume you sent it in Discord.
I did send it in Discord.
Okay. Let me look at it real quick.
Hmm.
Okay. Can I zoom in and look at it? Well, I can do this. Copy the image. Open up another one. Like DJ Khaled. Another one.
Okay, Steph says that she'll have to watch this tomorrow. It's late, and then she
Okay,
gets
I
hugs.
totally understand that. Trust me. But when you don't get off of work till 10:30, you, you're all, everything you do is late.
For sure, for sure. I'm gonna have to mute for just a second, Will.
Sure, sure,
I'll
sure.
be right back.
Okay, so we've got freckles there. I'm gonna play the freckles. Let's go. Pick. And then let's go up a level. Let's make that a multiply layer.
Okay, I return.
Okay.
Smiter was grinding coffee. We didn't want to get that picked up.
Smite's here. Okay, so I've got, like, in the pictures that I'm seeing, it's like kind of a triangular freckle frame, it
Hmm.
feels like.
Yep, that's how those references are for stuff that I can remember for when I draw her for the comic. That's
Okay.
why I have a bunch of different expressions in her from different angles and stuff. So that was all meant for me, but um, if you want, you can do it differently depending on however your style is. But she always has, as you can see on the thing, it says that um, her freckles are always grouped in threes, and
Oh,
so.
okay, so then I need to, because I accidentally did a fourth freckle.
Mhm.
So
But
that
that's
means,
up to you. You can change that if you want, since
yeah.
you're
Well,
doing this in your own
I am
style.
doing it in my own style, but I want to be as accurate as I can. I don't want to just totally be like raw. I'm dominating all of it. Okay, so now we're gonna have some fun in the shading department.
But yeah, cheeks, forehead. She has also got some on her shoulders and the back of her hand, but you can't really see the back of her hand one.
Wait, there's freckles on our forehead too?
Yep,
I missed
right in the
that somehow.
center, right in between her eyes. Yeah, if you go slightly more to the left of in the reference sheet, you can see the section where it kind of lays out where her freckles are located.
Something else I'm realizing when I'm zoomed in on this black and white sheet, it kind of starts distorting, so I don't see everything like I should.
Yeah,
So let's get it down a bit so I can see some more stuff. Okay.
but yeah, like redheaded people, like have a ton of freckles like everywhere. And actually, I did some research for a little bit, trying to find the locations of where freckles normally show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like the upper part of the chest, and it also all depends on how much of the body is um, often showing in the on the person, how much skin is being exposed to sunlight. And so, uh, yeah, it all depends per person, but often on the very top of the shoulders, uh, on like the T section of the face, like on the back of the hands, usually up the arms as well. But I don't have it quite that detailed on Letty.
All right, I'm gonna color pick the eyes. That was one of the questions I was gonna ask was what is their eye color, but then I was just like, well, no, I can color pick it now because I've got the deal there.
You sure can.
So let's.
That's why I didn't put any shading on her colored reference sheet, um, to for ease of identifying the colors and for ease of color picking.
Yeah. I think I told you the other day we were on the show that I've watched She's a Man again
Yes.
recently, and I didn't realize how much I love that movie
Hmm.
until I saw it again. I was just like, this is just so like a lot of the jokes still hold up.
Hmm.
That's the thing I love about it, and Amanda Bynes is just really brilliant at this. She's really brilliant with her comedic timing,
Hmm.
which I don't think she got a whole lot of credit for in a lot of the stuff she did. Which I mean, I know she wasn't in a lot of movies, but stuff she was in, I felt like her comedic timing that I saw felt like her comedic timing was really good.
Hmm.
So, and
Yes.
of course,
Yes.
it's
She was very talented.
Channing Tatum back before he was Channing Tatum. I mean, everybody
Hmm.
kind of knew he was something unique, but it's a little bit different when you're.
Can I
Sorry.
tell you a secret, Will?
Sure.
Dark secret.
Okay.
I've never been that fond of Channing Tatum.
No, I get it. I do. I understand like the Channing this it is Channing Tatum,
Hmm.
but I'm not super. I mean, uh, uh, when they were talking about him possibly playing Gambit in the X-Men movies, it broke my heart a bit.
Yeah.
Cause I'm just like, so I mean, yeah, if you saw Inglorious Bastards, I kind of get it because I mean he's kind of acting like a Cajun dude in that movie, but I just don't know that I want him in that iconic of a role as far as for being an X-Men fan.
Hmm.
You know, I just don't
Like
know how I feel about that.
I don't mind whoever they want to get to play characters as long as they're good actors and they do a good job. Unfortunately, that was not the case for Gambit in
X-Men
X Men Origins
Origins.
Wolverine.
Was it X-Men Origins or X-Men Wolverine? Yeah, there was X-Men Origins.
Yeah, X Men Origins Wolverine,
Yeah,
because there
yeah,
was get it like three Wolverine centric movies.
there were indeed.
Yep. So there was X Men Origins Wolverine. There was also the Wolverine, and then obviously the good one, Logan.
Logan.
You
Yeah.
know, I remember a thing, what's the word? A tagline for when the Wolverine came out,
Mm-hmm.
and the tagline on it was like, "Finally, the Wolverine movie we've been waiting for." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's not.
uh, like
It's not."
it's like wasn't like Will I Am in that movie for a very brief second or two.
I believe he
He was
was.
one of the guys that showed up during the whole little thing where Rod Reynolds was just being Rod Reynolds.
Hmm.
Which I'm like, okay, I don't mind Rod Reynolds, I don't, but this ain't Deadpool.
Yep.
Like this ain't even Dead Man Wade, because a lot of people are like, well, maybe they were trying to play him as more Dead Man Wade before and then they would stop, because they were like, I was like, yeah, if you say before they made him Deadpool, I'm gonna slap you because that wasn't Deadpool that we got. We got something else.
Hmm.
Like,
They were trying to definitely do Deadpool without making him Deadpool, and then when they quote turned him into Deadpool, that wasn't Deadpool either.
right. But I mean, hey, if it had been for that, we wouldn't have got the best version of Deadpool that we've ever gotten so far, which of course was Rod Reynolds, who was behind the actual Deadpool movie that we got, the two Deadpool movies that we got.
I'm willing to agree there, but deep down inside, I like to believe that we could have done it without that.
Well, in a perfect world, yes,
Hmm.
we would have definitely got it without that. But
Hmm.
okay, I'm trying to think because this is where my stuff starts getting a little wonky. So I know I've
Mm-hmm.
got to do some shading. I know my light source is coming from the back end. So my light source
Mm-hmm.
will be coming from like here. So I know that when I do my shading, I'm going to want to keep the darks in, these areas. Like I'm going to want to have my spot darks here, here, and then maybe a little bit kind of on the edges of some of her face and
Mm-hmm.
helmet and such.
Are you gonna keep her ear green or sorry, orange?
No, I need to change the ear. I thought I selected the ear when I did the other stuff with the skin. Apparently I didn't. So let's fix that. Okay. I promise you guys, I'm gonna get better with this digital coloring thing. I'm gonna be a dynamo one of these days. Okay, let's select it. Yeah, I was watching Amanda stream some in and out some yesterday, and I really enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. Of course, I think the interesting part was the 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 food order.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it was just like, yep, she finally got her food,
Yeah, I had to go to bed before that happened.
and then it was just 10 or 15 minutes of like, yep, yeah, we're done. We're just gonna eat now. We're gonna be done, and we're gonna select some stuff later. And Tony was like, I feel like I ruined the stream. She's like, no, you didn't ruin it at all. It was really good.
He ordered 40 nuggies.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I know to do the grouping is Control G to do the group thing, right? Where I just do the shading on it.
What program are you using?
Photoshop.
I have no idea. Then
Uh,
Photoshop has different shortcuts than what I'm used to. Because
oh,
I
you use
use Paint
Corel
Tool
Paint, right?
Sci. I use Paint Tool Sci.
Okay. I've been trying to work with, been trying to start learning how to use Clip Paint Studio because the guys from Saturday Morning AM use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so since they use it, I kind of wanted to have something to where they could, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
where I could learn how to do more. Because they do a lot more there. They, like for their big project that they're doing straight up, they're using straight up that for the deal there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's cool.
Clip Studio Paint is really, really good for making comics with.
Okay.
Back before it was Clip Studio Paint, it used to be called. I'm trying to remember the name for it. Uh, it was meant to be like a manga making program. Manga Studio, that's what it was called. Uh, and then they rebranded it to Clip Studio Paint to be just an all around like art program, but still main focus making comics with it. And so a lot of web comic artists use it. Um, I do not, but I have it because I do plan on using it when I do eventually start making a comic, like for real ZZs.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's I believe what most people use, and it seems to be a very good program.
Hmm. Well, like I said, I know the guys from Saturday AM. They're in order for them to do their big crossover event that they're doing. Everybody, which I mean, I think most of them were using it before anyway, but they were just like, well, yeah, we kind of needed everybody to be on the same system.
Hmm.
So because they're doing a lot of they're doing a lot of transferring of files and stuff like that. So they
Hmm.
wanted to make sure everybody had the same stuff.
Hmm.
Let's,
What do you think about Maddie's character design?
I liked it. I really did. I really like it from the standpoint of she has this very like I want to know more of her story. Like one of the things I found
Hmm.
really interesting was kind of the bags under the eyes, like some of the stuff going on there. I was like, Why does she have bags under her eyes? Is she
Mm-hmm.
tired? Is there something going on? You know, there's a bit of sadness behind her eyes. Like not necessarily sadness, but more like wonder, like what's going on type wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So it had me asking a lot of questions, which I mean is a good thing because I would think that would be the point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to kind of know what's going on with the character.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, my big initial thoughts behind designing Maddie was like to create a character that's not traditionally attractive, right?
okay,
Um, and as a result, I feel like she ended up being a lot cuter um, in the end, like kind of like Suyu from My Hero Academia,
uh huh,
Suyu Asui, Froppy. She's not a traditionally pretty character, but she ends up being like extra cute as a result for some reason.
hmm. Let me do something real
At
quick.
least I think.
I need
I
to
think so.
shave off the edges, so to speak, of this because apparently I'm not using the right thing because normally when you group something together, it only allows
Mm-hmm.
you to color on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm on the wrong thing, but I will learn better, y'all.
And let me see your screen in Discord. Share your screen
Hang
with me.
on, sharing the screen.
Okay.
So let me select
Um,
just like I said, just to do
First of
something.
all, you should maximize this thing. But um, where it says layer zero and where it says group, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
not layer zero, is layer. Which layer is the shading layer?
The shading layer would be there. That would
Okay.
be layer five.
So layer five is all by itself. Pull that above group two. Okay. Now all the colored layers, put that all into group two. Just click and drag them up into it. There you go.
Oh,
Now scroll down. And is that all the colors?
yeah.
Is on? Okay. So scroll up for me, and then in between where it says layer five and group two,
Uh huh.
hold down the Alt key, and then move your mouse right in between there, and then now click. Oh,
Okay, so what just
click it
happened?
again. So hold down the Alt key and click, and now you'll see
Oh,
if you look. Now all you can do is color.
in the
Uh,
layer that I've got.
yep.
Huh.
So that's called a clipping mask. That's how that works.
Oh. Okay.
So
Well.
now everything that's in group two, like you can only, as long as you stay on layer five, you'll only be able to paint anything that has color from
Okay.
group two.
Let me do a little bit of a blur on the stuff there, so it kind of softens up the. It kind of softens up the. I don't want it to be super super harsh. The
Mm-hmm.
shading.
Gaussian blur.
All right. Oh, I know why. I know why I'm not seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that was the problem. It's like I'm not seeing any changes in it. Like usually let me see it on the screen, but then it's like, oh, because I selected the stuff outside of it.
Yep. You didn't have it selected.
I don't know why. Actually, I like that better.
Mm-hmm.
gives it a bit of a painted look.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, let me do this. I wanna put something behind her. Let's go with something super not bright, but kind of bright. I need to check myself. I think I know. I think I know what one of these are going to happen anyway. It's going to be the bandages and possibly the eye.
Mm-hmm.
But I just need to check this, and that's not what I wanted to do at all. Okay, let's try this instead. Selecting. Yeah. And tighten that up a bit. And let's go here. No, that won't do.
I'm not sure what you're attempting to do.
I know what I'm attempting to do. It's just not there yet, but I know what to do to fix it.
Okay.
Okay, so I no, I don't need that in the, under the layer. I need it in here. Okay, so now why is this? It's a normal layer with a very bright green. Select and expand that as well. Expand. Okay, it's still not giving me.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
I was trying to do a background layer, but it keeps coming out really, really fuzzy. Like it keeps coming out not nearly as bright as I want. Like I've got a bright, bright red, but for some reason the background layer is coming out as 100% opaque. See, 100% opaque. See, but yet it's not.
Do you still have a gray layer above it?
Well, I had it unselected, but let's try to.
Okay, yeah, that's turned off. I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
turned
that.
off, so that's not the problem.
What's above it? What's layer 6?
Layer 6 is not needed.
Okay.
So let's get rid of layer 6. Not duplicate.
Yep. Just click on the layer and hit the delete button.
Well, that makes more sense. Except that isn't doing anything.
Hmm. Click on layer 1, then click on layer 6, or you can do that. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, there we go. I think we're getting better. Okay, so if I'm behind everything else, I should, in theory,
What's layer 3?
Layer 3, I want to say, has to do with the dark purples in the helmet.
Okay. So I'll scroll up. Keep scrolling up. Let me see. What's layer 4?
Freckles.
Okay. And layer 0 is the line work.
Line 0 is the artwork, yeah.
Okay. Turn off layer 0 for me real quick.
Turn
Just
off
to
layer 0. Okay.
okay. To see if the light looks or the red looks brighter. Turn it excuse me, turn it back on. Off and then on.
Maybe it's the. Okay, so maybe it's the initial layer with the line work.
Mm-hmm.
It's causing it to kind of lower. So let's finish this up though.
That appears to be the thing.
I think so. Okay, so we're gonna come in and do the. Okay. Let's, okay. If we go here and we select that, I should be able to just erase that. Go here and there you go. All right. And do we need any bright lights on this, or you think we're good?
Oh, that's up to you, my friend.
I know, I know. Maybe just don't put this above. Well,
I very rarely add any shines or highlights on my art.
I'm thinking the only thing that we could do to really pop it a bit is on the helmet,
Hmm.
because the helmet would be a bit of the. Let's pick this.
Usually the helmets have some sort of like covering over it. And the covering is it tends to not be shiny.
Uh, hmm.
It also tells people what position that you're playing as. Either a blocker, a jammer, or a pivot.
What position does she play?
That let me double check Smider's notes here
Sure,
because I believe I have it.
because I can definitely see if we can get some text on here.
Oh, it's just a simple symbol. See, you put a star on there, which delineates her as a jammer.
Oh, I did not know that when I did the star. I had been using a couple of different references, and
Hmm.
it's like the star just seemed to be the simplest.
Yep, and the star, because all those pictures you were looking at with the star on the helmet, those were jammers.
Okay,
Um,
things you learn during the process of making art, everybody.
yep,
That's why I needed you on here because otherwise I wouldn't have known any of that. Because
there we go.
unlike, unlike you, I've not researched roller derby. Hence why I was like, I really want Snyder to come on and talk about his character. I mean, I don't know, Jingles to come on. I don't know. You guys just talked about Snyder earlier.
Yeah.
Just mixing people up in the video here.
Well, Maddie is my character, and the story is Smider's story.
There you go.
So, according to this, Maddie is a blocker,
Okay.
which usually means that there's no real design on the helmet at all.
Oh.
But um, the I can tell you that there will be times when the girls will be switching positions. So
Okay.
she could be a jammer. uh, or she could be a pivot or whatever.
Huh. Interesting.
Hmm.
Very, very interesting. I got one more small idea I think that'll do the thing, but I need to check it.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to make sure that everything is blocked out really tight for this. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, yeah. Then grab that, grab that, grab that. Zoom in, grab this, and I wasn't for sure what was on her shirt. So I was like, well, I don't
Hmm.
know if we wanted to have the same thing on the shirt or not. So I was just like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and give her like just a general. Again, another thing I saw with a lot of people I was looking at on, and yes, I'm gonna say this because this is what I reference a lot of stuff on. I do use Pinterest a lot when I'm referencing things,
Which you should.
and I had somebody tell me one day, it's like, well, only women use Pinterest. So I'm like, well, first of all, that's sexist
Hmm.
because I've been using Pinterest for a minute. And especially when I need to reference things, I feel like
Hmm.
Pinterest is a good way of doing that. So let me go above this, create a layer there. We'll do something green there. Go the brightest I can since it'll probably kind of come out a little bit duskier due to the. Or actually, you know what? That's an idea too.
Hmm.
Can I do this and then go in here and do that? And then just do some. I need a good brush that will allow me to get kind of a spray painty thing. So let's go. I will spray paint in the middle, like so. And there we go.
There we go.
I am happy with it.
Finished.
Yeah. And so there is your sketch card for Maddie.
All right.
And anybody is
10 out of
interested in
10.
getting something like this, please let me know. You can get down in the comments below, or or whatnot.
Hmm.
And anything you want to say before we close this thing out, as far as the drawing, what you think about it, all that stuff.
The drawing turned out great, Will, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll donate to you again soon.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, uh, we have just ended the portion of this video where myself and Jingles talk about his wonderful, awesome character, along with some of the stuff for Atomic Derby. And get ready because when that time comes, y'all, you got to jump on this because I honestly believe these guys are going to knock it out of the park with this thing. I really do. And so, you guys rock. Appreciate you watching this.
Oh,
And
yeah, as well. For anyone interested in hearing about the story of Atomic Derby, we did a whole podcast episode with Will on his podcast, Conversations about dot dot dot. Go check out that episode. And my brother, the writer, and I both get into much deeper detail about these characters and stuff
I'll make sure to put
in
a
that.
link in as well in the description. So that way
Hmm.
we can make sure that you guys can go listen to that episode directly if you'd like. A lot of people tend to listen to it on Spotify, so that's been the link I've been sharing the most, just because that's where everybody seems to go.
Hmm.
So
I
I'm just
share for my podcast. I share the anchor link, and I say follow that link because it has the links to all the other the other platforms to listen to the podcast on.
that
Um,
makes sense.
and you can just choose your preferred one.
Okie dokie.
All
That's
right.
pretty groovy. All right, well, listen, everybody, we're out. Jingles, thank you for coming on and telling us a little bit about your character. I greatly appreciate your insights and
Absolutely.
even just helping me get some stuff right that I didn't pay attention to when I was initially drawing it.
No
So,
problem.
all right, well, as always, do me a favor, be blessed, be a blessing to somebody, guys. Take care. And